Hi, friends. It's Mrs. Vendetti. It's good to see you again. Do you remember last week I introduced you to the story Epossumondas Saves the Day? It's a great story, isn't it? Well, I promised you I'd share with you another Epossumondas story. This one's called Epossumondas Plays Possum by Coleen Salley. Illustrated by Janet Stevens. Let's see what Epossumondas is up to today. One summer morning, as butterflies flitted between the zinnias, Epossumondas and his mama were sipping sweet tea and chit-chatting about this and that. "Look, Mama, that butterfly just flew right into the swamp all by itself," said Epossumondas. "Why do you always tell me not to go to the swamp by myself?" "Land's sake, Sugar Pie, the swamp is scary and dangerous," Mama said. "Paths go every which way. You head down one path, then another, and first thing you know, you're all turned around and lost. And you don't want to get lost in the swamp." Huh, there he is, Epossumondas and his mama. You like the story so far, Frankie? Because something's just in there waiting for little possums like you. What is it, Mama? It's the loup-garou. What's a loup-garou, Mama? I'm not sure, honey, but I suppose it looks like the most awful thing you could imagine. What does the loup-garou sound like, Mama? I don't know, sweetie, but some say it has the scariest snarl you ever heard. Others say it has the meanest hiss, and some say it has the loudest snort. What does the loup-garou do, Mama? Oh, that's the worst part of all. If little possums don't mind their mamas, the loup-garou snatches them right up with its big, ugly claws. So stay clear of the swamp, Epossumondas. Stay clear of the swamp, and you'll be just fine, honey. Now, I'll go inside and fix our lunch. Mama's giving him a warning. She doesn't want him to go in the swamp by himself, right? Epossumondas went back to thinking about this and that. The loup-garou, the swamp, the butterflies. And when the prettiest butterfly he ever saw flew by, he started thinking about chasing it. Now, those of you who've met Epossumondas know he's not a naughty possum, but he is a forgetful possum. And when he saw that butterfly, he plumb forgot about the loup-garou. Huh, pretty little blue butterfly. Without a thought of what Mama had said, Epossumondas ran after that butterfly. You know where it went? Yeah, right into the swamp. And so did Epossumondas. went off this way. No butterfly. He went off that way. No butterfly. He ran down path after path, every which way, no butterfly. Epossumondas stopped. Which way do I go? He wondered. I'm lost. He remembered Mama's warning now, but he was too deep in the swamp to find his way back. Then, near a clump of cypress trees, he heard "Grrr, grrr, grrr." That's the scariest snarl I ever heard. Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. What'll I do? Then he flopped back, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Grrr, grrr, grrr. The critter came closer and closer. And closer. Hey, this possum is dead, it snarled. I don't eat no dead meat. And it padded off down the path. Epossumondas's eyes opened. Aw, that's no loup-garou. It's just a ferocious, terrifying old critter-eating swamp cat. So I'm not scared one little bit. But before he could run off, he heard That's the meanest hiss I ever heard. Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. So he flopped down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. The slithering thing came closer and closer and closer. This possum is dead, it hissed. I don't eat no dead meat. And it slithered away. Epossumondas opened his eyes. Aw, that's no loup-garou. It's just a terrible, old, slimy possum swallowing swamp snake. So I'm not scared one little bit. But before Epossumondas could run off, he heard snut, snut, snut. That's the loudest snort I ever heard. Epossumondas gasped. It must be the loup-garou. So he flopped down, eyes shut, legs up, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. Snore, Snort, snort. The creature stomped closer and closer and closer. Snort. Huh, this possum is dead, it snorted. And I don't eat no dead meat. And he stomped away. Aww. Epossumondas opened his eyes and said, "That's no lougarou. That's just a nasty, crusty old varmint chomping swamp hog. So I'm not scared one little bit." But before he could run off, an enormous, cold, dark shadow moved over him. A shadow with wings, a shadow with claws. "Those big, ugly claws will snatch me up, just like Mama said." Epossumondas gasped. "It must be the lougarou." So he stayed down, legs up, eyes shut, perfectly still, just like a good possum should. But he felt the shadow coming closer and closer and closer and closer. And then those huge claws did take hold of Epossumondas and snatched him right up. Was he scared? Maybe. But he was also ticklish. Really, really ticklish. He started wiggling and jiggling and giggling. He just couldn't help it. That shadow opened its claws and dropped Epossumondas like a hot potato. "Why, this varmint ain't dead," it squawked. "I never eat no live meat." And it flapped away. Epossumondas looked up. "Aw, that's no lougarou. It's just a creepy, smelly old bone-picking swamp buzzard. So I'm not scared one little bit." As Epossumondas lay there, all worn out from playing dead, wondering how he would ever find his way home, he heard, "Honey, where are you? Epossumondas, you answer, Mama." Epossumondas hollered, "Mama, Mama, I'm here." In less than a minute, he saw his mama running toward him. "Oh, Mama," he cried, "I forgot what you said, and I went in the swamp all by myself." That's a nice reunion, isn't it? Mama scooped him up. "Sugar, you need to listen to me. I was worried sick that the lougarou had gotten you. Oh, you must have been scared to death." "Oh, no, Mama, I didn't even see the lougarou." Epossumondas laughed. "All I saw was a ferocious, terrifying old critter-eating swamp cat, and then a terrible, slimy old possum-swallowing swamp snake, and then a nasty, crusty old varmint-chomping swamp hog, and then a creepy, smelly old bone-picking swamp buzzard that snatched me right up. So I wasn't scared one little bit." "You saw what? Epossumondas, Epossumondas, You don't have the sense you was born with. You gotta run away from those fearsome critters, too. But, Mama, I do have the sense I was born with, said Epossumondas. I just played dead, just like every good possum should. Ho, well, you sure are my clever little patootie, Mama told him. Now, I think we've both had enough excitement for one day. Let's go find ourselves some sweet tea. And so Epossumondas and his mama headed down the path to home.